Hello, and thank you for joining me today. Well, this is the Friday, September 27th edition of our video devotionals. We appreciate you being with us today. It is the end of a work week and school week once again, and hopefully your week has gone well. Well, I think the worst of our weather from what was Hurricane Helene that came ashore there in the panhandle of Florida. I think right now it's positioned about, I think, in the western part of our state, the remnants of that, which it may still be considered a tropical storm, whatever it is, but it's definitely brought destruction, and there has been loss of life. So we want to pray for families that lost loved ones due to this storm. The flooding, devastating, of course you can imagine. The wind damage down where it did hit. In our area, I have picked up some limbs. There'll be more to pick up. The heaviest of rain, I think, is finished. A neighbor just about maybe 200 yards from us had a mature maple tree go down. You can see it was blown over, and you can see its roots. So there's been some here. We were under a tornado watch. All that to say, the further west you go, it's certainly further south where this storm was at its peak damage. So we need to pray for people's families who lost life. Of course, that's number one. Then pray for people who were out in the storm trying to restore power back to homes and the cleanup, working with the traffic. You've got the Sheriff's Department, State Patrol, all the first responders, all that. So we need to pray for people and their safety as they work in these conditions, the flooding, certainly all of that. So remember these folks, if you will. Well, we'll end our week with a theme we've used this week and using the word effectual. We're going to be in James chapter 5, verse 16, read down to verse 20, and try to be a help to us today. Otherwise, thank you for watching. And of course, as you see folks in need of prayer, let's do that. All right, so notice what it says here in Acts 5:16. It says, confess your faults one to another and pray one for another that ye may be healed. The effectual, fervent prayer of a righteous man availeth much. And it gives us an example here. Elijah was a man subject to like passions as we are, and he prayed earnestly that it might not rain, and it rained not on the earth by the space of 3 years and 6 months. And he prayed again, and the heaven gave rain, and the earth brought forth her fruit. Brethren, if any of you do err from the truth, and one convert him, let him know that he which converteth a sinner from the error of his ways shall save a soul from death, and shall hide a multitude of sins. Our word is effectual here. It's found in verse 16. Talks about the effectual, fervent prayer of a righteous man availeth much. So we're talking about one person here, and it gives an example of Elijah who prayed. And he says he was human like we are, to use the language here. But the point is, it's interesting here that sandwiched in between the prayer and all that is talking about faults. It's talking about, brethren, if any of you do err from the truth and one convert him. Talking about sinning as a brethren, as a person of Christ. So what I'm saying is this idea of praying for healing. I understand praying for healing when it comes to physical sickness. I get that. We didn't read the verses, but there have been people that have brought themselves before the church, asked the elders to pray, anoint them with oil, and to pray for them, to pray for the sick. When you notice here, though, the Bible talks about, even in verse 15, what we didn't read, and if he have committed sins, they shall be forgiven him. So we're talking about faults. So I guess to not linger this out any more than normal, obviously a person that will pray and get a hold of God on anybody's behalf for any reason, that's powerful. That's effectual. The word effectual there, the Greek word is energeo, is probably where we get our word energy from. To be active, to be efficient in our prayers, to make things happen. Obviously, to pray, one person to pray and it not rain for 3.5 years, and then to pray again and it rain again. God's used as an example of a person who prayed that made that happen. But let's also not forget, as we look at this, let's pray for people who have their faults. And let's pray for ourselves as we have faults. I think it takes wisdom to do this, but imagine going to somebody and saying, I want you to pray for me. I don't have cancer. I don't have a heart condition, but I've got something going on in my life. I want you to pray for me that I won't sin against God. Wow. Imagine someone saying that and having the security in God to be able to say that and to be able to go to somebody that would actually do that and not use it against you even. So what I'm saying is, Let's pray, obviously. Let's pray for the sickness of people. Let's pray for people that have things going on in their life that they need to get victory over. And the word effectual there means we can actively and efficiently do that. And let's be one of those people, okay? Well, have a safe day, literally. Have a safe day, healthy day. Great rest of your day, whatever's going on. And have a great weekend. And Sunday, Lord willing, we'll see you back on Monday. And it'll be the last day of the month of September. And then we'll go right into October. Otherwise, thank you for watching.